Welcome back into the Cowboys Report. Tom Downey here once again as we discuss the latest on the uncertain future still of Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. The Bears yesterday requested an interview for the Cowboys' current head coach, and as of filming, they have not made a decision on if they will grant that interview request. They have a massive deadline coming up when his contract expires, and they've got no potential control over McCarthy there. There also haven't really been any leaks on what the Cowboys are going to do here as we get deeper into the offseason. Days begin to matter, especially with one team in particular actually already able to hire a head coach. We'll spend some time on that here briefly on today's show. But the offseason's underway, and it's another slow start for the Cowboys. Maybe slow is a good one-word reaction to the Cowboys' handling of the offseason so far. Drop that one word for me in the comments of today's show. I think there are a few options for just the why the Cowboys haven't made a public decision, at least. None of them, however, are actually good options. Now, you can go all the way back to Sunday and to even last offseason, letting a lame duck coach arrive anyway. None of the potential reasons are good, justifiable reasons for why the Cowboys here, January 7th, don't know what they're doing at their head coaching spot. I made a big point of being a chill guy in the regular season. I will not be a chill guy right now. Not. This stuff's too important. I despise the way the Cowboys run things on a pretty consistent basis. And I know that's negative. You won 7 games. You haven't made it to a conference championship game in 25, almost 30 years now. We get to be negative. That's fine. No other NFL team operates like this. And don't give me the Raiders just fired Antonio Pierce. You want to be the Raiders? No. The Raiders are out there firing another coach after another year. It's been a mess. No desire. No desire at all to be also bad. You should have urgency here. There is no justifiable reason for dragging their feet the way they have so far. Because regardless of what their decision inevitably will end up being, you could have made it already. I don't know if the Cowboys know what they're going to do yet. I've seen arguments of, oh no, they know what they're doing. Okay, why haven't they announced yet? We're like, oh, they don't owe you anything. No, they actually do owe the fan stuff, frankly. They actually do owe the coaches answers on it. The main reason they haven't said anything is they want the attention. ESPN spent all day talking about the Cowboys. I don't care. If the Cowboys somehow don't know what they're doing, then they're dragging their feet. That's path number 2. They don't know what they're doing, and they're just taking their good old sweet time, smelling the roses, when other NFL teams are approaching double-digit interview requests. I guess when you get a chance to start things off slowly, you have to take it, or you have to get the attention no matter what. It just bothers me. It bothers me. A lot more to come on this. It'll be a very ranty show, so I apologize maybe. I don't know. Will Mike McCarthy be back as the Cowboys head coach in 2025? It's the pinned comment. Ask this a lot. At some point, we'll ask it again. Why for yes and for no? Go vote if the ad comes here on YouTube. I think I speak for a lot of us, and at least it's true for me. The longer this goes, the more the frustration builds. Like, okay, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And not just for the fans, the coaches too. They're all out of a contract soon. And this is really less so for, like, McCarthy. Like, he'll be fine. He's got millions of dollars in the bank if he's been remotely fiscally responsible. It's all like the lower paid assistants. Like, the assistant, quality control coach who, like, has to go find a job and, like, might not have as many contacts available and jobs will begin to fill up. It's not fun not knowing what your future is when you don't really have control over it. So, yeah, you got to start doing stuff here. And not only that, for your organization, if you're not bringing Mike back, you got to start interviewing people. Like, don't let this drag out and play behind the 8 ball again. I think there are a couple notable dates coming up here. Now, I don't know this first one for certain. I've seen a couple of different people say that you get 48 hours after the request, the Cowboys have to respond. I couldn't find it in the CBA. I don't know what the actual timeline is. If there is a timeline for the Cowboys to respond to the Bears' interview request from McCarthy, got no idea. For the Cowboys' purposes, something tells me the 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time kick, January 12th on Sunday between the Eagles and Packers, is a great time for them to announce what they're doing because they did that last time with Jason Garrett. At minimum, McCarthy's contract ends January 14th. So the Bears can wait that out. They're not going to hire a coach by then, I wouldn't anticipate, if they really want McCarthy or theory Ben Johnson. Those guys have to wait for that hiring process anyway. But, again, I really don't understand the deadline make deals crap when you're doing a head coaching search. Because it's not just you and one coach. It's you and potentially dozens. That's just very frustrating to me. Again, we'll talk more about this here and continue the rants and whatnot here. But today's show is made possible by Fume. We all have bad habits. We certainly know how hard it can be to kick those bad habits. That's where Fume comes in. It's not about quitting. It's about finding a better alternative. Fume has created an innovative flavored air device that's perfect for those moments when you want to break away from bad habits and still have something enjoyable to reach for. Their award-winning flavored air device draws flavor to your mouth, not your lungs. It's free from nicotine or vapor, and it's safe to use anywhere. It's also an awesome fidget tool with magnets and clicks that can help calm anxiety. Fume is not a vape, and it can be used as an alternative to vaping or quitting vaping. If vapor was a soda, think of Fume as more of like an herbal tea. Stopping a bad habit by going cold turkey is actually hard on your brain. Fume works by replacing your hand-to-mouth fixation, calming nervous tension through fidgeting, and distracting you from your bad habit with delicious flavor. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build better habits. Try Fume today, and if you order the Journey Pack now using code CHATSPORTS, you'll get a free Fume topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Go to tryfume.com/chatsports or simply scan the QR code on screen. The link will also be in the comments section and the description of today's show. I do want to run through some of the hypothetical reasons for, hey, you're well past 48 hours from the end of the season. You said on Friday the hay was in the barn. Why haven't you made this decision already? What do you really have to be discussing about here? Of note, none of these are good answers. None of them. I don't like any of the reasons I've provided. That's why I'm frustrated today. Again, I've seen this claim. The Cowboys, they simply aren't telling us what's going on. Okay. Kind of feels a little bit like, the Cowboys can do whatever they want, the Jones boys. This would be attention focused, though. That they know what they're doing, and they just want to keep their names in the headlines. If they've secretly agreed to a deal to keep Mike, and he's on board with it, okay, I guess. And by the way, if their plan is to not keep Mike, and they're letting him kind of twist in the wind, I think that is Bush League. I don't think it looks good if that's your plan of, screw Mike. Like, hey, come on. Just let him go then. It's fine. And you need to start your process if that is the case. What are you waiting for? That's even worse from a team perspective. Maybe the more likely outcome here is that negotiations are ongoing. And that is why you haven't seen leaks from the McCarthy camp really either, outside of the Bears have no answer, which, again, could be trying to force some process to get moving here. I think there are, if this is, again, we're all in the theory stage, right? If they're having negotiations and there are rules and conditions for Mike to come back, who calls the plays could be one. I would bet Mike wants to call the plays. Maybe the Jones boys don't. The contract length and cost are probably massive ones. You got cheap Jerry Jones. They're talking about incentive contracts for coaches, which is like, isn't how anybody else operates out there. Nobody operates that way. Not a single soul. Assistant planning. How do you bring back assistants? What assistants return? All of those things could be potential problems and would explain why it's a little bit quiet on both sides at this point. Now, we will be here all off-season long, so if you haven't already, hit that sub button. We'll have more updates for you guys. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Number 3, maybe they're going slow on purpose. And again, this is very stupid, to be clear, but maybe they want the attention. They can generate more clicks and views and keep the Cowboys name the number 1 Google search trend for the NFL, and it dominates ESPN all day long. And by slow playing it, you limit Mike McCarthy's options as much as possible to potentially save money on a deal because it's the Cowboys. They're cheap. We can call it how it is. And if they don't end up, going after a new coach, they can limit their own options to the guy they actually want secretly, even if it's not the most popular candidate, or limit their own options to the have to bring back Mike because there's nobody better out there. Again, that's all narrative stuff I hate, but you can see some of the logic behind it, right? Now, of note on Mike Vrabel, New England seems to be approaching a decision on their next head coach based on who they have interviewed. The Patriots, less than 24 hours, really, that's 48 hours, into firing head coach Gerard Mayo, the Patriots already have all of their interviews done. They have already interviewed, they've requested to interview Ben Johnson, and they have already interviewed Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton, two guys who haven't coached in the NFL since 2002 as offensive coordinators. Those interviews are completed. The Patriots have satisfied the Rooney Rule already. Now they're going to interview Mike Vrabel. This is not the intent of the Rooney Rule. It's going to draw a lot of criticism, but the Patriots can hire somebody whenever they want to because they knocked out interviews with Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton less than 48 hours into the process. Vrabel stands out there. Now, Ben Johnson's all virtual, but they can hire Vrabel at any point, by the way. Now, there are 6 current NFL head coaching jobs open. The Jets, Saints, the Bears, the Patriots, the Jags, and now the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of those teams had been linked to Mike Vrabel, by the way. But that's another potential job for someone to get hired in. Again, if you're the Cowboys, let's start this process. Either start the process and build your staff around McCarthy because they're all out of contract, or go start the process for a new head coach. Who do you want as the Cowboys head coach in 2025? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Last reason for why there's no decision, maybe they still don't know. And maybe it kind of ties into some of the negotiation stuff as well. But again, I think this is also bad. I don't think we can rule this one out. That, despite them saying the hay's in the barn, they actually don't know what they want to do yet. And that would be a joke to me. Because you should have known this a year ago. You should never have allowed Mike McCarthy to enter this year in a lame duck situation. Because if 3 straight 12 wasn't enough, how was a 7-10 season enough? And now you got a lame duck, which you have to make a decision. You should have known last year. You have 4 years to decide. Is he your guy or not? If he is your guy, cool. Make it happen. Pay him. I don't care about the money. Get this done. Go build a good roster. And if it's not McCarthy, cool. Move on. Go get a new head coach. This isn't hard, actually. It's actually very easy to do this. It's time to make moves, Jerry/Steven. No more dragging your feet. No more being the center of attention. Stop being a look at me girl. I'm over it. You don't need to be. You are already attractive. You are the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone knows you're going to be the homecoming queen. You don't have to be the center of attention all the time. Just be normal one time. That's all I'm asking for. If the Cowboys are moving on, waiting only hurts their ability to do a real, proper coaching search. Maybe it only hurts like 5%. That's still 5% that you just wasted for no reason. You didn't have to do that way. And if you're keeping Mike McCarthy, why'd you wait so long? There's no justifiable reason for doing that. My fear right now is there's a mindset of, this is close enough. This is good enough. I can live with this. This is fine. And I don't want to settle for fine. I want more than that. A big thank you to Fume for sponsoring today's video. One more time, folks, scan the QR code and use code CHATSPORTS to get your free Fume topper when you order your Journey Pack today.